The Great Barrier Reef is one of the most spectacular, beautiful, and amazing things on the planet. And when we think about it, we usually picture something like this: vibrant colors, fish and corals, a serene underwater landscape. But for resource managers and policymakers that work to protect the reef, they have a very different view. They think about the threats to the reef, like climate change and coastal development, and they think about how they can reduce those threats. But most importantly, they think about people. We don't manage the Great Barrier Reef. We manage the people that use it, live near it, and impact on it. We manage the fishers fishing, the farmers fertilizing, the tourists snorkeling, and anyone else that uses the reef. And so a large part of the management of the Great Barrier Reef actually involves trying to change the way that people behave. And a key part of that is trying to understand why they do the things they do. We need to understand the users of the Great Barrier Reef in order to protect it. And so the question becomes, how can we reduce the impact of people on the Great Barrier Reef in order to maintain its status as this beautiful international icon? My research uses psychology, marketing, and communication to try to understand the people of the Great Barrier Reef. Working with CSIRO, we conducted a gigantic study from Cooktown all the way to Bundaberg. We surveyed more than 6,000 people and asked them all about the reef. We also did an online survey of more than 2,000 people, all around the country, from the coastline to the outback and everywhere in between. And so what did we find? We found that overwhelmingly, Australians are connected personally to the Great Barrier Reef, and they're concerned about the threats to it, especially climate change. They believe it is the responsibility of everybody to protect it. They believe it's part of their personal identity as Australians, and they would be personally affected if the health of the reef declined. They're proud that it's a World Heritage Area, and more than 90% of Australians want to visit or already have. And so why does that matter? We also gave people a list of Australian icons and asked them which is the most inspiring. And when compared to Uluru, the Outback, Sydney Opera House, and 9 others, the Great Barrier Reef was by far the most inspiring icon, inspiring more than 90% of people. And that matters because inspiration creates motivation, and concern and connection can lead to action. And so if we can figure out how and why the Great Barrier Reef instills responsibility and inspiration in people, we can think of new ways to promote good behaviors that help protect the reef while minimizing the bad behaviors that are destroying it. And behavior change is complex, but a better understanding of who we're trying to change is a key first step to help keeping the Great Barrier Reef great. Thank you.